With the number of homes that are listed for sale rising, why do a lot of buyers feel like there's nothing good on the market? And honestly, they're not entirely wrong. What's happening is buyers are no longer judging the market by the number of homes available. They're judging it by the quality of the homes available, the value, the condition, the monthly costs. And is that home actually worth the cost? This is a perspective that today's sellers are missing entirely. And here's where the data gets super interesting. So inventory is going up, but the number of pending and sold homes, that's declining. But the homes that are selected, they're selling faster. And the buyers, they're paying very close to asking price for those select homes. And so we have strong market for a select kind of home. So is the Lake Geneva area at the end of the seller's market or the beginning of a buyer's market? Well, the months of inventory jumped sharply in Walworth County and in Lake Geneva. Anything above 4 months of inventory means we're in a balanced market. In Walworth County, we went from 2.92 to 3.8, and in Lake Geneva from 3.64 to 3.93. We're essentially in a balanced market. Here's what that means. Too much supply gives a buyer's advantage. Too little supply gives sellers the advantage. Right now, they're evenly matched. What we should start seeing is more rational pricing, stronger negotiations, and some give and take on both sides. The exception will be well-priced and well-maintained homes. Buyers, they're going to show up in spades for that. Overpriced, not maintained, or dated homes, buyers are going to pass or wait for the price to drop in about a month or two. The number of active homes listed for sale jumped again, and some homes are selling faster. In Walworth County, the number of homes listed for sale jumped from 275 to 353. That's about a 30% increase from this time last year. In Lake Geneva, it moved from 34 to 38. Pretty modest. Meanwhile, the number of pending and sold homes have declined slightly. Most people would assume demand is weakening, but this is where it gets super interesting. The days on market dropped from 42.5 days to 32.6 in Walworth County, which means there's a lot of pent-up housing demand right now. Homes are selling faster and buyers are paying closer to asking price. This tells us something very important. The number of buyers may be smaller right now, but the buyers that are in the market, they're serious, they're decisive, and they move quickly when they see value. This is a quality over quantity market shift. Lake Geneva has about the same issue, but it's reacting differently. Days on market jumped from 22 days to 65. That sounds dramatic, but there weren't that many sales, especially with the higher sticker price that comes with the Lake Geneva area. Buyers, they're just not excited about what's available at the current price levels. Here's why that matters. The homes that are selling are the homes buyers feel confident about pricing, presentation, and condition. The market is no longer rewarding, well, maybe someone will pay that much kind of mentality. It's rewarding realism and concrete value. Even with more homes listed for sale, why do buyers think that there's nothing good out there in the Geneva Lakes area? Well, this is one of the biggest psychological shifts happening right now. Inventory is actually higher than it's been for years, but buyers are still frustrated because the condition, the sticker price, and the monthly payments don't match the value. They think that the market is hot right now. What will it be in 5 to 10 years? Will they be building equity or will they be underwater? Especially since the median price of active homes right now is about $500,000. Think about that. That changes everything. Now, here's where it gets super important. A lot of the extra inventory that we're seeing entering the market right now, they're overpriced, they're stale, they're dated, they're high maintenance, or they're emotionally disconnected from what buyers feel the home is actually worth. So even with more homes listed for sale, buyers are just as dissatisfied as when there were less, especially when prices feel disconnected, condition doesn't match, or the monthly payments feel emotionally off. That's why activity is concentrating around homes that feel like there's real value to them. It's kind of like Tinder. There's a lot of single people out there, but not many you actually want to date. Buyers are still paying close to asking price in the Geneva Lakes area. In Walworth County, the sold to list price ratio jumped from 98.9 to 105%. Lake Geneva came in at 99.6. This is very strong, especially since 1/3 of homes typically undergo a price reduction before they sell. But last month, we didn't see much of that. Here's why that matters. Sellers aren't heavily discounting, and buyers, they're not aggressively negotiating. They are competing selectively, and when the right home hits the market, they move. Weak markets don't consistently produce near to full asking price offers. Right now, home pricing psychology is everything. I recently had 2 listings go live. One was a Lake Geneva condo, walking distance from the downtown, but a little too aggressively priced. The other, a 1970s modular home that needed a lot of update. Well, let's be honest, a whole rehaul, but it was priced correctly. Guess which one exploded with activity, went right under contract, and is already sold? The modular home that was priced correctly. Price matters right now more than perks. Price it right and you're going to drive buyers to the property. Price it wrong and you're going to drive buyers away from that property. The condo seller got emotionally anchored to the higher price because of a nosy neighbor that insisted on listing it much higher than it really should have been. And the market responded exactly as you'd expected. Crickets. Minimal activity, minimal urgency. Meanwhile, the fixer-upper, buyers were circling it immediately. The market will forgive condition faster than it's going to forgive being overpriced. And this is one of the biggest lessons sellers need to understand in today's market. The Iran conflict could quietly shape the real estate market in Lake Geneva for the rest of the year. This is the wild card that nobody is ignoring right now. The Iran conflict is affecting oil prices, mortgage rates, and consumer confidence. The average 30-year mortgage rate right now is about 6.5%. And historically, housing data tends to soften once rates go above about 6.64%. Now, here's why that matters. Housing demand reacts more to stability rather than rate levels. Buyers can emotionally adapt to above 6%. But when it keeps going up and down and up and down and up and down, buyers freeze. That volatility and geopolitical uncertainty slows down decision making. And honestly, the fact that the summer market is still showing strength despite all of that, that's actually pretty remarkable. Just imagine what kind of market we would have right now if we just had more stability. But buyers, they're not gone. They're waiting for that stability and that predictability. If this geopolitical instability continues, momentum could really slow much more than it usually does going into the fall and winter months, which is going to soften prices, but not collapse them. So the real story about the Lake Geneva real estate market is that it's not a weak market, despite all the uncertainty. It's a selective market. Demand still exists, money still exists, and inventory is definitely there. But buyers are becoming dramatically more analytical about what they're deploying their money into, and that changes everything. Pricing matters more than perks. Conditions matter more than wishful thinking, because in this market, pricing is marketing. The homes that are winning right now are the homes where buyers feel like there's real value, not fluff. And the sellers that are succeeding right now are the ones that understand what the market is doing right now, not what the market was doing in 2021. Sellers, if you want to sell your home for the most amount of value in the least amount of time, give us a call. Buyers, if you want to find the right home and not miss out, reach out and make your next move legendary.